The final mind map on Alexander the Great is significant events in his life. Number one, the death of his father Philip in 336 BC. Now, certain details of this are fairly uncontroversial. He is murdered by his bodyguard Pausanias at the wedding of his daughter Cleopatra. Yeah. The story comes from the historian Diodorus. Now, it's a bit murky after that. So the story in Diodorus is that Pausanias is the lover of Philip. He become angry that Philip had another lover, also called Pausanias, bullied the young Pausanias till he committed suicide. Then Attalus, who didn't like this, invited Pausanias for dinner, got him drunk, and had him raped by his stable boys. Pausanias didn't like that, went to see Philip, complained. Philip didn't do anything, and that's why Pausanias killed him. Yeah? So that's the story. But the more interesting bit, from a historian's point of view, is that who done it? So we know it's Pausanias, but why? So Alexander blamed Darius. Others blamed Alexander because his friends had killed Pausanias before he could be questioned. Others blamed Olympias because after the death of Pausanias, she came back from exile and had Pausanias buried in a flash way. She had given him an expensive burial and prayed at his grave rather than her husband's grave. So some people say she did it. But whatever happened, the important thing is, at the age of 20, Alexander becomes king and inherits this war machine. Right. 330 BC, the war is mostly over against the Persians. He's conquered the Persian Empire and he's sitting in Persepolis. And he burns the place down. According to Arrian, he does this deliberately as an act of revenge for the earlier Greek attack on Athens. Yeah. He's advised not to by Parmenion, but now he has to do it, it's his duty. Plutarch and other sources say, nope, that's not what happened. They were drunk. A prostitute called Thais, a courtesan, a girlfriend of Parmenion, Ptolemy, says, let's burn the place down. I'm Athenian, let me burn it down. Wouldn't it be great if a woman did it to them? Alexander, drunk, says, yeah, that's a great idea, and they burn it down. Whichever the reason, the significance of this is it's going to really turn the Persians against Alexander. Yeah? He's a conqueror. He's burning the heart of their empire, their temples, for example. It is this, some people think, that leads to the prolonged guerrilla war that people like Bessus and Spitamenes fight against Alexander, because he's showing them no respect by burning down Persepolis. 3. The murder of Clitus the Black in 328 BC. So they're in Samarkand during the prolonged guerrilla campaign to conquer and pacify the east of the empire. They're at a party, they're drunk, and Clitus starts mouthing off to Alexander about how dare you make us bow to you, you're not a god, you couldn't have done this without your dad, your Philip's every bit as important as you, which is a real sore point with Alexander. They have a big all up, they're both drunk, Alexander ends up murdering him. Here's the quote from Clitus, this is the hand that saved you, referring back to the Granicus. Significant, again, Alexander is becoming more of a tyrant. As he becomes more and more powerful, there's less and less checks on that power, which is linked to Parmenion and Philotas. So Philotas was the son of Parmenion, a companion cavalry commander. He was murdered, he was executed for not reporting a plot against Alexander. Parmenion's murdered because he might have been angry that Philotas had been killed. If you put the three together, you've got a picture of tyranny for Alexander. Yeah? He's becoming more and more of a tyrannical king. 5. The mass marriages at Susa in 324 BC. On one day, Alexander marries 2 of Darius's daughters, 2 princesses. Hephaestion marries a 3rd. The other Diadochi are all forced to marry Persian big shot wives. 10,000 Macedonian soldiers marry their Persian girlfriends. Alexander pays their dowry. He pays the money. He pays all these soldiers money to do this. Why is this significant? This is Alexander trying to create a brotherhood of man, a new people, not Persian, not Greek, a bit of both. Yeah, and that's why it's said to be significant. Finally, the death of Alexander in 323 BC. Now, he he probably died of natural causes, malaria. And he's at a drinking party, he comes down with a massive fever and stomach cramps, symptoms of malaria, hangs on for about 10 days, and then dies. Yeah? So he dies fairly young. This is significant because if he'd lived longer, the empire would have been more stable after his death. His son would have been born. He may have had time to organise the empire a bit more, expand it perhaps. And who killed him? Well, like I say, it's almost certainly natural causes, but it could have been the Diadochi, some of them, as they were scared that maybe he was going to kill them next. He already killed Clytus, he killed Parmenion, he killed Philotas, maybe they were next. And maybe also they were a bit upset and a bit bothered about perpetual war and sacrificing their lives God knows where, fighting who knows what. But the point is that his death at 323 BC really puts a significant dent in his legacy. He hasn't got time to organise the empire or properly organise who comes next.